All right, today we'll be talking about the biggest storylines from Robert Saleh's press conference yesterday. Hey, what's going on? I'm Matt O'Leary back with another video, and today I'll be talking about the biggest storylines from Robert Saleh's press conference. Before we get started today, I just wanted to mention that you can follow me on social media at Matt O'Leary NY. If you haven't already, please make sure to check out the Just Jets podcast, the Matt O'Leary NY extra channel, bonus content there. And if you want even more bonus content, Patreon, $5 a month gets you bonus New York Jets content. We have mock draft Mondays. We have, what else do we do? Updated player cards. I had one for Solomon Thomas who signed yesterday. So for more updates, bonus data, patreon.com, Matt O'Leary NY. Okay, so here are my biggest takeaways. The first one, which got everybody riled up. Well, most of these things got people riled up because, well, it's the offseason. There were, besides Solomon Thomas, which came after, but there wasn't any big news or anything like that. So the first was that Laken Tomlinson is going to be playing left guard and Elijah Vera-Tucker is going to be moving over to the right side. Now, why is that controversial? Elijah Vera-Tucker played left guard last year, and when Laken Tomlinson was signed, the assumption by everyone was that, okay, it's going to be Laken Tomlinson moving from the left to the right side, but instead it's going to be Elijah Vera-Tucker. Now, don't panic. Elijah Vera-Tucker in college was extremely versatile. And at the NFL level, I think he's going to be extremely versatile as well because he's played both tackle spots and he's played right guard as well as left guard. And look, I know people thought, okay, Mekhi Becton and AVT, that's going to be the left side of that Jets offensive line for years to come. Well, no, it's probably going to be the right side of the offensive line for years to come. So my anticipation is that they're going to go Fant on the left side, Tomlinson on the left side, McGovern, AVT, Becton. Again, they could decide these things in training camp, which is, totally fine. I don't think it's anything to get worked up over in March. Was I surprised by it? I guess a little bit, but I don't think it's anything to go nuts over. Elijah's still young, and like Laken Tomlinson did play at a Pro Bowl level at left guard and is one of the higher paid guards in the league now after that new contract. So I guess we shouldn't be shocked. And like I said, I don't think it's anything to get worked up over. I am extremely confident that you're going to be able to have AVT playing at a high level on the right side of the offensive line. The second thing was Mekhi Becton and some of the storylines that came out from him today, because you had a couple things. Robert Saleh said that when he expects him to come back, he's going to be like a ball of butcher knives, whatever that means, and that he's been working his tail off. And you would think, okay, that's great, positive, but there's a little bit of some misleading quotes about him being able to perform in OTAs. Thank you to The Beat on that one. It's just the selective wording is what really gets me. So Saleh was asked about Becton at OTAs, and he basically said, I don't know, I'm unsure. And it's like, well, Mekhi Becton isn't going to be ready for OTAs. I don't know how we got to that leap, but that's the leap that was made. If you've seen the videos of him working out online, it seems like his knee is trending in the right direction. So I stand by my statement that I am not worried about Mekhi Becton yet. Maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe he will turn into a bust, but with the effort that he's put in the offseason, it looks like he's getting the weight under control, and I think he will be just fine when OTAs roll around. So that is also something to keep an eye on. And the last thing, which is something that I talked about in the podcast yesterday, was Zach Wilson being on tour and, quote, putting in the work. And what Robert Saleh meant by on tour is you have him going around the country working with his teammates, with his wide receivers, and I'm going to assume tight ends, and I'm going to assume draft guys. And he's putting in that effort to take a significant leap forward in year two. And I praised him on the show yesterday. That's what I wanted to talk about in the opening monologue, was how I think he deserves credit for being a good teammate, going around and doing all the right things. And now on top of that, I got comments and I agree with it. It's not something that I mentioned, but look at what Zach Wilson did in his first year at college and how he progressed over his 3 years at BYU. I think you could see something similar with his time in the New York Jets. He obviously got better in the second half of last year. And my hope and everyone's hope is that he takes a significant step forward in year two. Right. Obviously, everyone's talking about the offensive line with Mekhi Becton, Laken Tomlinson, the draft, getting edge presence and maybe another corner. Or do you draft Kyle Hamilton in the top 10? The only thing that matters is Zach Wilson progressing. That's it. because if he doesn't progress and the roster takes a step forward, then you're still screwed because you don't have that quarterback of the future. If for whatever reason the Jets, maybe because, right, like most people's expectation or my hope is that they're winning 8-9 games, let's say. But if they only win 5 games next year and Zach Wilson is playing like a for sure top 12 quarterback, then you are fine. You could say, okay, we could make some changes to our roster and be more than fine. But if they go like an ass backwards 7-10 and Zach Wilson's like the 28th best quarterback in football, problem, a little bit of a problem. And well, I think that's kind of the theme of today is they're trying to do everything in their power for Zach Wilson and moving Laken Tomlinson or keeping Laken Tomlinson on the left side and moving AVT to right guard. That's what they think is going to make them the best offensive line unit. That's fine. And I still have belief in the young guys, in Mekhi Becton and Zach Wilson. So those are my biggest takeaways from the Robert Saleh press conference. It was good to hear his voice. Loved seeing all the coaches together. It's getting me all antsy for the NFL draft. That's going to be here sooner than we realize. I can't wait. So if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, you should be, because there is more NFL draft content coming up in the weeks leading up to the draft. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Let me know what your biggest takeaways were in the comments below or on social media. Thank you once again. I am Matt O'Leary. I'll talk to you next time.